Hello everyone, thank you for watching. Today I'm going to do a sketchbook tour of this mixed media sketchbook. This is the front of the sketchbook. I asked my sister to paint something on the front. I told her just to paint whatever she wanted, and this is a sketch that she does of her cat Savvy. This is a Strathmore mixed media, pretty heavyweight sketchbook. The pages are really thick, they hold paint very well, and let's get into it. The first pages of the sketchbook are the 100 heads challenge that I did a while back. I loved this challenge. I think everyone should do this challenge. It's really fun. It can be difficult because you have to do it in 10 days, or you don't have to, but that is the challenge. So I drew 10 heads in 10 days, and I did different mediums for each of the pages. So for these first 10 heads, I did graphite. The next page I did color pencil, and I kept them all in the same like family of blues, and I tried not to spend too much time on each head. For the first page I was spending way too long and it just wasn't very fun. So I thought let's just spend less time on these heads, and because there's a lot of them to do. So I was trying not to be too precious with them. For this one I did color pencil and pen. So for some of these heads I would take 10 minutes, for others it would be 2 minutes or 5 minutes, but I didn't want to spend 20 minutes on a head because then it just took too long, and like I said, it just wasn't very fun. So let's see, for the next page I did marker and pen, and this is probably my least favorite page, not because of the portraits themselves. These were cool portraits to draw, but I didn't like how the marker came out. But for the next page I did black marker and pen, and I like this one because I like how I kind of framed some of the portraits with the black marker. Something that I found when I was doing these 100 heads is that I really enjoyed drawing aged skin. I kind of like the wrinkled faces, or the faces that had really unique expressions, instead of just like a mouth that was closed and kind of emotionless. This one was Prismacolor, and I was using purples. I liked this one a lot. I like the subjects for this page. I really like how this one came out because it was neon color pencils, so they kind of, I don't know, they had this really cool effect. And for some of them I did use some pen. This one is my favorite though. I used only marker, and it was a fine tip and then broad tip marker. And I really like how the shading came out for these, and I thought that these faces were really fun to draw. So that's my favorite page. And then for the last page for this 100 heads challenge, I used Prismacolors, and it was dark blue and light blue. And I just really enjoyed this challenge, like I said. And if you are interested in doing the challenge, you can find the pictures on Pinterest. And I feel like I learned a lot. Portraits aren't really my expertise. I'm not like professional in portraits, but I feel like I got better and better each page that I worked on the portrait. So it was fun. This page, my sister and I were drawing outside, and we decided to draw each other. So she has a picture of me in her sketchbook. This page is pretty cool because I was working on a design for my tattoo. I had a lot of different ideas, and I really like how these sketches came out. I still ended up working on it at the tattoo parlor, so it did change a little bit, but it was sort of very similar to the one on the bottom on the right page. And then I was working on the font for another tattoo that I was going to get that says "All We Have Is Now," so that is also a tattoo that I now have. These next pages are from a class that my sister and I took on Patreon. It was really fun. The instructor, or like the leader of that Patreon class, would show an image, and she would give us a time limit on how long we had to draw that animal or a landscape, as we'll see later on. And since you are pressed for time, you can't be too precious with the drawing, so it was kind of fun to just work really fast and just see kind of what you can come up with in 2 minutes, or some of these larger ones were like 15 minutes, so you were able to create a background. And it's nice to just kind of like let loose and not worry about like, okay, I need to spend 2-3 hours on this drawing to make sure it's perfect. It was just fun. So we did quite a few Patreon classes. This one here, I really like this like fish. I don't remember what kind of fish this is called, but it was only a 2-minute drawing. And then I did the raven on the other one, on the other page. So we were drawing things that started with the letter R. For the rhino, I didn't really like the background. I like how he came out, but the background was not my favorite. Then this is another class, and we were drawing cats, which I love. I love the blobs, the cat blobs on the left side. They're just so fun to draw. The one on the right was not very successful. I like the yellow cats, but the blue cat, I painted over him so many times because I kept messing up on his face, and then just kind of decided he's just going to be blue without any details. These cats were a little bit longer. I think these were 5 and 4 minutes. And I really like the one on the left with the yellow and pink. The cat on the left was really fun. It was 15 minutes, so I had quite a bit more time. And she was angled very oddly, where you can only really see one leg. But it was really fun to draw. Here are some more cats that we were drawing. The one on the right, I think I made him a little larger than he was in the picture, but it was fun to draw. We also did a landscape class, and this was my favorite. It was so much fun to draw these landscapes, and they were fast. These were 5 and 7 minutes, I believe, and you had to just really put color on the paper really fast, and I really like how they came out. They came out very just free and like abstract, and there's just not much detail to them, but the color really like takes over. That's the part that I really like. I like how the color just kind of spread on the page. It's not super perfect. Everything is not extremely detailed. There's a lot more detail in the picture, but what you're able to achieve in that amount of time is really cool. And my favorite part of this was drawing the trees. Creating the trees was really fun, and trying to get all of those colors. That's what I was focusing on, is trying to get the color right, not so much worrying about like every leaf on the tree, or making sure that everything that was in that picture ended up on my painting. This one I really loved. Again, the trees were really fun to do. This is all mixed media, so this is watercolor, some gouache, Neil colors, Prismas. So it's mixed media. And for this picture, I kind of just chose like a section of the picture that I liked the most. There was more in the picture, but I kind of zoomed in on my favorite part. So there was like a red building, and then what looked like a church, and then the beautiful trees. This one, I believe we had more time for this one because there's quite a bit more detail in this picture. And I love it. It was really fun to again draw the trees. The trees were really fun, and just trying to get those correct colors, because there was so many different shades of like yellow and orange in this picture. And this was my favorite Patreon class that we took. I love landscapes. They're my favorite, and they've kind of always been my favorite to paint or to draw. And since taking this class, I've been drawing more landscapes and making sure that I'm not spending too much time on them, because that's what I liked about these landscapes so much. This is another class that we did, and it was this, I want to say she's a dancer. She had some different poses that she took, and these were pretty fast. There were 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 7, 10, and if I wasn't able to get the face on the drawing, that's fine. It's just a matter of trying to get as much on the page as possible. This one was not my favorite. I did not like how her arms came out, but the one on the right I really liked. I liked the colors that I chose, and her skirt was really fun to draw. then did some Van Gogh recreations. I was looking at a lot of his paintings that had flowers, and I love his paintings. So I only use neocolors for these. I have some neocolors in this cup right here. I love these. They're really fun to use because you can use them dry, or you can put water on them, and then they become water soluble, and the water activates them, so they become like watercolor. Here's another one that I did from Van Gogh. The road in the center, it's incorrect. I did not like that at all, but I love the sky, like how the sky came out, and the birds I really loved, but the roads, they were just not right. But I decided that it's fine. I tried to fix it too many times. I recreated the scream, but with this picture I was using crayons, like Crayola crayons. My students use crayons quite a bit, and I don't, so I decided I need to practice with them so I can see what they're what they use, and like the texture of the crayons. I have to say I don't like them very much. They're very waxy, and they kind of made a mess, like all the little pieces of crayon that came off. But I really like this one that I did with the crayon. It's hard because wax, you can't like blend on top of crayons. You can't, at least I haven't figured out how to. So once you apply the crayon to the paper, nothing goes on top of it. Like the neocolors, they're creamy and you can build them up. But crayon is just very different. So I'm still working with them, trying to figure out if I like them at all. But this is a Monet painting. Oh my goodness, this does not look like water. There's supposed to be the lily pads on water, but it's okay. The colors were cool, but it did not come out how I planned. And it's the same for the next page. I decided that I was going to try to melt the crayons, and I got like a crayon melter. And these flowers did not come out very well. But it was interesting to just kind of work with the crayon, try to blend melted crayon. But yeah, don't like that page very much. This is another Van Gogh painting that I love. I really like how this one came out. My only issue was the bug. I made the bug a little too big. He's significantly smaller in the painting, but the colors were so beautiful, and the roses, that I really wanted to recreate it, and I enjoyed working on this page a lot. And my last page, I have a video on this page. This is another Van Gogh painting, and I love it. I was actually able to melt the crayon correctly for the white part of the flowers, so that has some texture to it, which I liked. My favorite part of this drawing is the background, though. The red stripe on the gray wall, I love that. The floor or the table where the flowers are, it's odd, but that is how it looks in the painting. That it just kind of throws me off, those colors and the lines. But overall, I really like this painting of his, and I enjoyed recreating it. I did keep some papers in between some of the sketches because they would transfer to the other side. I really enjoyed working in the sketchbook. I can't say that for every sketchbook. Sometimes, you finish a sketchbook and you just want to tear pages out of it or throw it away, which I have done in the past. But this sketchbook, I just let loose. I tried not to be a perfectionist with every drawing because I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to draw things that I liked. I wanted to not spend so much time on them and just kind of, work in different mediums, practice different mediums, and this is a timed sketchbook. Now I think about it, a lot of these have timestamps on them. Not so much towards the end. The Van Gogh paintings, I sat there for hours working on those, but a lot of these have time on them because that was kind of the challenge of that Patreon class or a challenge that I set for myself, because it's cool to see what you can create in that amount of time, and then like the difference in an artwork that you work hours on. But I love this sketchbook. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed watching the tour of this sketchbook. I do have some other sketchbooks that I've started working in. This one, you'll see the video on YouTube. Unfortunately, the tape did tear it, but this one I've been working in, or just started working in. This sketchbook is a marker and pen sketchbook, so this one, you'll see a tour of this in a little while. I think I'm halfway through that sketchbook. And this one, I just started working on a sketch, so maybe that will make it into a video. We'll see how it turns out. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.